Hey, what's good, you guys? It's your boy here, and we're at it again with another review. And today we'll be reviewing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And the reason why it took so long to make this review is because there is a lot to cover on this game. And it's not just one single game, it's 3 games in one. And for a person like me who just enjoys the game and actually want to take time with it, I'm not just gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just rush through it. I'm gonna take my time with it, and that's technically about it. So since that has been said, let's go on with this review. And to make it easier, I'm gonna try to go through each game as best I can. So to start this off, this game was developed by BioWare with assistance from Abstract Games and Blind Squirrel Games, and published by EA. Plot-wise, in Mass Effect 1, you have to fight through the Geth forces to confront with Saren, and then realizing and vowing to end the Reaper threat and cycle. And then in Mass Effect 2, you have to deal with these insectoid alien race known as the Collectors, which is also trying to progress the Reaper cycle. So you have to assemble and gain loyalty of a diverse team to stop the Collectors. And finally, in Mass Effect 3, the Reaper has invaded and quickly overwhelmed Earth, so you are ordered to recruit support from other species across the galaxy and literally make and construct a device called the Crucible to finally end the Reaper cycle. So that is enough about the plot. Let's talk about the overall gameplay on each game. But before I forget, each of these games have somewhat of the same mechanics, so I'm gonna go over those real quick before I actually go through each game. So the customization in this game was freaking goddamn fantastic. You can customize your gender, appearance, military background, and combat training, and there are 6 different character classes for you to choose from. Each of them have different talents that provide enhanced combat capabilities. And if you finish the game more than once, you are able to get bonus abilities as well. Now let's talk about the dialogue and morality. During the conversations with certain characters, the game mostly employ a radical combat menu called the dialogue wheel, where you can have many dialogue options depending on the wheel's direction, and each dialogue choice impacts on how others react to you and the people around them. So most of your morality is measured by a Paragon and a Renegade system. This system will allow you to develop talents that affect the ability of new special Paragon and Renegade dialogue options with significant impact to the game. And the game's overworld is a galaxy map that you can explore to find and complete quests. Most quests consist of combat missions, but some involve you interacting with NPCs during visits to settlements. And as you progress throughout the game, different locations and new squad members will become available. Experience points are gained by completing quests. Each time a sufficient amount of experience has been obtained, you can level up, and it is awarded by squad points that can be used to develop powers for you and your squad members. So let's talk about Mass Effect 1 first. So in Mass Effect is a third-person action adventure role-playing game, which is squad-based, and 2 squad members can accompany you on the battlefield, and you can have direct control of Shepard while your squad members are controlled by an AI. The battles in the game takes place in real time, but you can pause the action at any time, calmly target enemies and select different talents and abilities with your squad members. And it also has a cover system which allows you to strategically hide behind objects while fighting enemy forces, and you can issue orders to your squad members, such as sending them to take cover behind an object, scout ahead, regroup, or focus on fire on a designated target. You will only to have limited weapons in this game, so you can only have pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and sniper rifles. Although all of them have unlimited ammunition, they can overheat if tired continuously for prolonged periods. But the thing that I don't like about Mass Effect 1 is that the fact that there wasn't really too direct with their map system. Their map system was technically trash. I always end up getting stuck every 5 seconds wondering where I need to do or where to go. But the game has some type of overworld in the galaxy map where you can explore and find and complete quests that made up for all of it. But other than that, let's talk about Mass Effect 2, which is greatly improved, by the way. So instead of having the overheat mechanic, they finally added ammo clips to the freaking goddamn game. And unlike the first game, all of the enemies are protected by all types of crazy amounts of things like health, shields, armor, and barriers, or a combination therefore. And each type of protection section has its vulnerabilities. And if you pick a specific class, they will lock you on to certain weapons, which in my opinion is kind of a bummer, but surprisingly I didn't really mind it. And the map in this game is fairly better. It is definitely better than the first one. I did not get lost, and I knew exactly what I needed to do and where I needed to go. Thank you. Now let's talk about Mass Effect 3. In my personal opinion, I feel that Mass Effect 3 is the best one out of all of them. Because even though most of the mechanics and gameplay wise stayed the same, the enemies in the game were completely different, making the whole experience completely different. So most enemy encounters generally involves navigating opposing forces that works together and support each other with varying roles. For example, a typical confrontation involves defeating suppressor type enemies who shoot from afar while also managing more aggressive type enemies that are consistently charging at you. And you can finally move around the map even better by climbing up ladders, using combat roles, and finally having unlimited sprinting in this game. But even though that some of your squad mates are limited for using certain weapons, you're not. You can use almost any weapon that you want. And most opposing forces are damaged with gunfire, melee attacks, or specialized skills such as combat drones. And if you desire, the melee system can be a vital aspect of the gameplay. For example, you can exclude heavy melee attacks that vary depending on your character class. And in a certain extent, you can present yourself with certain alternative offensive approaches. Like for example, if you encounter an Atlas mech and if you defeat the driver without destroying the entire suit, you could climb inside and take control of the heavy duty weaponry. And the thing, man, the map was freaking fantastic. Like I said before, I was able to get to plan A to plan B with no problem. Thank you. But anyways, the multiplayer is non-existent because there was strictly focused on everything else in between. But besides all of that, through each of the games, the character development was freaking amazing, man. Like just seeing Rex just become this typical soldier and see a lot more and see him progress throughout the game was just amazing. Bravo. And for that alone made me literally bonded with all of the cast in the whole franchise, and I just loved it completely, man. Y'all, like, BioWare, whatever you doing with the story, y'all is just, oh my god, y'all are killing it with the character development. Y'all killing it. And graphically, the game is freaking amazing. Since all three games are remastered with visual enhancements, technical improvements, gameplay adjustments, and in the very first game, it received more extensive upgrades than its counterparts, significantly with regarding to graphics, combat mechanics, vehicle handling, and loading times. And if you're that type of guy that loves graphics, you can actually play this game in Ultra 4K. And on top of that, despite all of their content, you could play all of their DLCs. So, for example, in Mass Effect 2, the Shadow Broker DLC, you can play it. The Leviathan DLC on Mass Effect 3, you can play it. That being said, there's so many things to do in this game. There are a lot of content in this game as well. You will spend a good amount of hours playing this game, especially if you're a story junkie just like myself. But the last thing I'm going to talk about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack, in my opinion, was fairly decent. It wasn't the best in the world, but it was definitely fine. It was definitely great. I enjoyed it. And I think that I covered mostly everything, so let's just hop on to the overview. So on the positive side of things, the story was just freaking amazing. Customization in this game was definitely fun. The overall gameplay was just fantastic. The dialogue in this game was just, oh my god, amazing. I definitely liked most of the various enemies in each of the games. The various classes that you were able to choose from, it was freaking great. The character development was freaking astounding, dog. Graphically, the game was freaking goddamn phenomenal. It has a lot of content in the game. Environmentally, in a gameplay standpoint, it was just beautiful, and I definitely enjoyed their soundtrack. If I had to nitpick, I don't know what it is, maybe it's just me, but the Mass Effect 1's mapping system was just hot doo-doo water. So this specific game came out in May 14th, 2021. The game should be in most platforms, so PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And if you get the game digitally, it should be about $59.99 in most platforms, but on Steam, they're having a sale right now, so instead of it being $59.99, it's $49.79. If you get the game in local stores, it should be about the same price range, but it varies on which type of store that you go to, so it all depends on where you look. So with that being said, is this game actually worth your money? In my personal experience, yes, this game is definitely worth your money. I just love everything about this game, especially 3 is the best one out of all of them. I don't care what anybody says, 3 was just freaking goddamn phenomenal. And this is coming from a person who barely even played Mass Effect at all. For me experiencing firsthand, who barely even played 1, literally played half of 2 and completely finished 3, I was so happy when this game came out. I enjoyed my time playing this game. So with that being said, I highly advise you guys to buy this game. This game, it is definitely, and I mean indefinitely, this game is definitely worth your money. So that was technically the review. If you liked the review, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I do reviews, videos, PvP matches, streams, and more. And if you haven't yet, please don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page and my Twitch account because I stream on those platforms as well. Everything should be in the description box below, and I will catch you guys on the next review.